Question number 26. What is spin lock? If a resource is locked, a thread that wants to access that resource may repetitively check whether the resource is available or not. During that time, the thread may loop and check the resource without doing any useful work. Such a lock is termed as spin lock. Question number 28. What is kernel paging? Paging is a memory management scheme by which computers can store and retrieve data from the secondary memory storage when needed into a primary memory. In this scheme, the operating system retrieves data from secondary storage in same size blocks called pages. Paging allows operating system to use secondary storage for data that does not fit entirely into physical memory. Question number 29. Can a structure be passed to the function by value? Passing structure by its value to a function is possible, but not a good programming practice. First of all, if we pass the structure by value and the function changes some of those values, then the value change is not reflected in caller function. Also, if the structure is big, then passing the structure by value means copying the whole structure to the function argument stack, which can slow the program by significant amount. Question number 30. Why cannot arrays be passed by values to functions? In C, the array name itself represents the address of the first element. So even if we pass the array name as argument, it will be passed as a reference, not its address. Question number 31. Advantages and disadvantages of using macro and inline functions. The advantages of the macro and inline functions is that the overhead of argument passing and stuff is reduced as the functions are inlined. The advantages of macro function is that we can write type insensitive functions. It is also the disadvantages of macro function, as macro function can't do validation check. The macro and inline function also increases the size of the executable file. Question number 32. What happens when recursive functions are declared inline? Inlining a recursive function reduces the overhead of saving context on stack, but inline is merely a suggestion to the compiler and it does not guarantee that function will be inlined. Obviously, the compiler won't be able to inline a recursive function infinitely. It may not inline it all, or it may inline it just a few levels step. Question number 33. Which parameters decides the size of data type for a processor? Actually, compiler is the only responsible for size of the data type, but it is true as long as OS allows that. If it is not allowable by OS, operating system can force the size. Question number 34. What is the job of preprocessor, compiler, assembler, and linker? The preprocessor commands are processed and expanded by the preprocessor before actual compilation. After preprocessing, the compiler takes the output of the preprocessor and the source code and generates assembly code. Once compiler completes its work, the assembler takes the assembly code and produces an assembly listing with offset and generate object files. The linker combines object files or library and produces a single executable file. It also resolves references to external symbols, assigns final addresses to functions and variables, and revises code and data to reflect new address. What is the difference between static linking and dynamic linking? In static linking, all the library modules used in the programs are replaced in the final executable file, making it larger in size. This is done by the linker. If the modules used in the program are modified after linking, then recompilation is needed. The advantages of static linking is that the modules are present in an executable file. We don't want to worry about compatibility. Question number 36. What is the purpose of preprocessor directive #error? Preprocessor error is used to throw an error message during compile time. We can check the sanity of the makefile and using debug options given below. Just see the screen. Question number 37. On a certain project, it is required to set an integer variable at the absolute address hex 67A9 to the value hex 8855. The compiler is a pure ANSI compiler. Write code to accomplish this task. This can be achieved by the following code fragment. Please see the screen for the code fragment. Question number 38. Significance of watchdog timer in embedded systems. The watchdog timer is a timing device with a predefined time interval. During that interval, some event may occur or else the device generates a timeout signal. It is used to reset the original state whenever some inappropriate events take place, which can result in system malfunction. It is usually operated by counter devices. Question number 39. Why ++n executes faster than n+1? The expression ++n requires a single machine instruction such as INR to carry out the increment operation. In case of n+1, apart from INR, other instructions are required to load the value of n. That is why ++n is faster than n+1. Question number 40. What is wild pointer? A pointer that is not initialized to any valid address or null is considered as wild pointer. Consider the following code fragment. Int pointer p equals to 20. Here p is not initialized to any valid address, and still we are trying to access the address. The p will get any garbage location, and the next statement will corrupt that memory location. For more clearance, please watch the screen. Question number 41. What is dangling pointer? If a pointer is deallocated or freed and the pointer is not assigned to null, then it may still contain that address, and accessing the pointer means that we are trying to access that location and it will give an error. This type of pointer is called dangling pointer. Question number 42. Which bitwise operator is suitable for checking whether a particular bit is on or off? Bitwise AND is used to check if any particular bit is set or not. To check whether fifth bit is set, we can write like this. Watch the screen, please. Question number 43. When should we use register modifier? The register modifier is used when a variable is expected to be heavily used and keeping it in the CPU. registers will make the access faster. Question number 44. What is meant by a forward reference in C? The forward reference refers to the case when we point an address space of a smaller data type with a pointer of a bigger data type. This can be pictured as allocating memory in single bytes and accessing it with integer pointers as chunks of 4. Question number 45. What typecast is applied when we have a signed and an unsigned int in an expression? The unsigned int is typecast into the signed value. Question number 46. How are variables mapped across to the various memories by the C compiler? The compiler maintains the symbol table which has the related information of all the variable names along with the length of the allocated space, the access unit length for the pointer, type of pointer, and the starting address of the memory space. Question number 47. What is loop unrolling? Small loops can be unrolled for higher performance, with the disadvantages increased code size. When a loop is unrolled, a loop counter needs to be updated less than often and fewer branches are executed. If the top iterates only a few times, it can be fully unrolled so that the loop overhead completely disappears. Question number 48. Which of the following is also known as implicit address? A. Dual address model, B. Single address model, C. 1D model, D. 2D model. Answer is B. Explanation. The single address model is also known as implicit model because the second address is implied and is not directly given. That is, the source address is not supplied. Question number 49. Which of the following allows the programmer to define constants? The preprocessor processes the source code before it goes to the compiler, and this allows the programmer to define variable types, constants, and much more other information.